Hi everyone, James here from Perpetual Stew TV, and I'm here to give you my take on the Utah Royals versus Angel City match last night from the NWSL doubleheader on Prime and Paramount Plus. Okay, caveat: I am not employed as a coach, so it's not my job on the line. I am not a player, obviously, and so I do not know what individuals are going through. This is just my take, and I am trying to get a job within the different leagues right now to go back into pro staff coaching or analytics. And so I'm doing a lot of research in my own scoring during games and making notes. Some things I will share with you that you may find interesting or not. But if you would, like and subscribe, because there's going to be a lot of videos coming over the next couple months. And forgive my temporary studio at the moment. But what we have going into this was two teams that are winless for a very long time. Utah has not won since April. Angel City since May. You have two teams that are working very hard to get out of this rut, and they do work hard. Unfortunately, they are both technically short on some ability. Their rosters are a little bit thinner than they need to be. Obviously, Utah is still a team that's building and trying to get a foundation. Angel City has a different set of problems, but they're problems nonetheless that lead to a less deep roster than they need to compete. And I think you saw that last night. That match ended 0-0. If you were neutral, you might have checked out at the 60th minute or earlier. If you were the East Coast, if you're on the West Coast, you probably stuck it out because the game smelled like it was going to have a goal a couple different times. Alyssa Thompson was working her tail off as usual for Angel City. The problem there is if you watch their last couple of matches, and I'm sure this applies to the season, she does not get enough support, and she's trying to do too much at times. And with Utah, they're trying to find and build an identity. They're in a build mode, and they just do not have the roster depth to compete. They do not have the pace to compete at the highest levels. They're not a terrible team, though. I know their record looks atrocious, but they are trying to get out of the ruts they've been in and actually, build a well. I wouldn't say they're a possession team because they don't keep possession very well and very long, but they do try, okay? So, again, neither team, though, really creates space very well. Their positioning is always late, whether it's offensive or defensive positioning. They do not get to where they need to be on the field at the proper time. They're late, both teams, and that shows in their play, and that's why they're where they are in the standings, okay? Goalkeeping is not bad for either team overall. I think, obviously this game was 0-0. Both teams have shipped goals this year, but it's really not their keeper's fault because they're constantly facing shots in terrible defensive positions. And when you're constantly doing that, two things happen. You ship goals, or your keeper becomes world-class overnight because they are facing so many shots they can't help but get better. And that's not really something you want to have happen, but I could go through history and show you different keepers that have made national teams because their club teams were so flipping bad. They're facing 30 shots a game and they're facing 20 on target, okay? That's how you end up getting save records. Just ask Tim Howard of why he has the most saves recorded in a World Cup. We gave up way too many shots. So a big highlight in this game, though, was Giselle Thompson taking the field in the 74th minute because she's been injured. It would be nice to see the twins starting together. They could wreak some havoc for Angel City. And I forget who was calling the main part of the game, but I believe it was Jordan and Jelly on color. And the part that was driving me nuts, okay, and not that she doesn't know what she's talking about, but she, like a few others, is constantly throwing out this, the number 10, the number 9, the number 7 spot, playing that number 9. And I'm sorry, it's 2025, and if we're still doing this number 9, number 10 crap, that needs to stop, okay, because it's not relevant anymore. I challenge you to tell me what an 11 does or what a 4 does, because it doesn't happen. And I could line up a team with the keeper and 10 people in a straight line. And as long as those players know what their role is, we can be successful in the field, whether you call them 10 defenders, 10 midfielders, or 10 forwards, or 10 wingbacks. It doesn't matter, okay? And I'm so tired of this being beaten to death on color commentary from multiple people, men's and women's leagues, okay? There is no such thing as a number 9, a number 8, or number 7 anymore. And if you disagree with me, you're free to do so. But I know I'm right, okay? It's what the player's role is within the system and whether they know it well enough to execute it, and that is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter. We want to categorize everything from the sidelines and in punditry and stuff, me included. Okay, I'm guilty of that as well. But referring to people as numbers, like the position matters anymore, is irrelevant. Okay, we're either playing one way or the other, and in reality, soccer is still a simple game. It's the players that are complex. Okay, you only have 3 sets of being on the field. You're either playing the ball, you're receiving the ball, or you're positioning off the ball. From there, you get a positive and negative reaction or action, okay? Which transition is part of that, but still, it's only 3 states of being. From there, you get all the derivatives to go forward and play the game, okay? Think about it for a minute, and you'll understand that I'm correct in what I'm saying. So the poor game ends up 0-0, which does neither team any good. I really think we'll be counting both these teams out of the playoffs very soon. I don't know what the mathematical data is, but each picking up a point does not help them. The only thing they can hope for is that with the parity in the league, everything stagnates above them, and they go on some crazy run where they drop no points for the rest of the season, which is not going to happen with these current rosters. I think both coaches have a hard road to hoe. And the other thing I think you can do when you have teams like this and you're in such a rut, what do? Do you overcorrect the system? Do you focus on the small things? Well, that's a good question. And the first thing I would do was that you can control, no matter what, is control fitness. And I think both teams need to learn to run harder, run faster, run longer, and know when to do it as well. And in support, okay? There's times to rest and there's times to go all out. And I'm so tired of these half presses that waste energy for no reason. There's very few times you really need to hard press in this league, especially with the way weather conditions can go and things like this. You need to choose your moments, and that way you can preserve your fitness. But what I see is too many teams in the summer that are just absolutely gassed, that can't deal with the conditions. And that's part of your job as a training staff to prepare players for this. And I'm not seeing it. I see too much weakness on the field as far as conditioning goes. And that could be due to injuries, things I'm not aware of. Okay, for all I know, it's a Lucy Bronze situation, and all these players that I'm watching have fractures and they're dealing with pain that I could never deal with myself. Okay, so in conclusion, not the greatest game to watch, but I still enjoyed it because it's nice to be back and I'm able to view these games week after week and do some work. I'm trying to find myself again a new pro job. So one thing I think that will help both teams is if they can actually bring in a couple new faces going into next year, keep their core together that they're trying to do, keep some coaching stability, okay? I'm seeing way too much turnover in the top level of the staff, okay? You have a league that's built for parity, and you're shocked that your team is only at 500 and you're going to get rid of staff like this and get new people in, and then you want to change players again. Please don't repeat what the men's leagues do in England, which is just carousel coaching. It's not good for your team's morale over time. But I wish the best to Utah and Angel City. They deserve better records than they both have, but that's the reality of this league right now. It's a hard league. I don't care what anyone says. It's a hard league, and it's definitely improving season after season. So anyway, if you can, like and subscribe, because I'm going to have a lot more in-depth videos coming forward over the next months as I get my studio up and running. I will even be touching on U.S. youth soccer. I've got, I hate to say it, I have over 30 years of experience in professional coaching in the soccer industry. I have some crazy stories to tell that you would not believe, but they're going to be true, okay? Just from my experience from working within the Federation for USYSA, especially in Region 1 over time, and even once upon a time I was the English national team's liaison, and if they'd have made the 94 World Cup, I would have been their permanent liaison for that whole tournament. So anyway, we'll see you in the next video, and again, like and subscribe if you can. Thank you.